Welcome in, race fans. This is Bleachers and Features, episode 4. My weekly show covering the world of racing and my adventures through it. Coming at you live from South Bend, Indiana, and Buju HQ, which just sounds better than my basement. From Bullring B Mains to Cup Series Sundays, let's talk race cars, friends. Unfortunately, this weekend of race cars was a washout. Rained out pretty much all the way through the Michiana area. I think Kalamazoo Speedway was the only ones that got any racing in. So if you weren't at Kalamazoo on Friday, make sure you check out Top Row Racing Media to get your Michiana racing fix for the week. We'll shout out their winners real quick up at Kalamazoo. Jeff Town in Street Stocks once again won a 25-car class. Jeff Town on fire up there. If he's not leading points, I'd be shocked because boy, oh boy. Chet Monowek in the late models, 16 cars there. Dan Rigoni wins the front-wheel drive A with 17 cars. Gunnar Gale, the front-wheel drive B with 17 cars. Luke Hosner in the front-wheel drive C with 14 cars. And Jacob Maynard in the Outlaw Limited late models with 13 cars. I have it on over here right now, but I haven't truly watched the program yet. So I don't have a lot to say about Kalamazoo on Friday. Check out Top Row Racing Media. You should also check out Top Row Racing Media and the Monday Night Rewind because we have Kenny Wallace as a guest at 7 o'clock on Monday. If you're listening to this after Monday, make sure you go back and listen to that on the other platforms, YouTube, Facebook, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, SoundCloud, iHeartRadio, I think. So wherever you want to listen to the Monday Night Rewind, make sure you check out Kenny Wallace on there Monday. We also have Kenny Head and Matt Prier of the Reveal the Hammer series on the show, talking local racing. So check that out, Monday Night Rewind, Top of Racing Media. Kenny Wallace as a guest. But he's going to be at the Hot Shoe 100 at Kalamazoo this weekend. I will be at the Bentley Warren Classic on Thursday at Plymouth. Monster show. Ken Schrader joins the roster of drivers at the Bentley Warren Classic at Plymouth, coming off of that figure 8 bus race win at Toledo. Ken Schrader joins a badass field of drivers for the Bentley Warren Classic, racing against multi-time NASCAR champion Tony Stewart, Daytona 500 champion Ryan Newman, Kyle O'Gara, Jake Trainer. Timez was there last time. I'm not sure if he'll be joining the National Pavement Midgets again this time, but an all-star field nevertheless. I think Jaden Kratacci might have put a midget ride together. Some local flavor in that race. So you do not want to miss Plymouth on Thursday. Hornets racing for $1,000. Process that in your head for a second. I'm going to give that a moment to breathe. Picture that. Front-wheel drive Hornet class, right? You know what I'm talking about. Now tell those guys they're racing for $1,000. What do you think that race is going to look like? Exciting, right? Something to write home about. So you want to be there Thursday for the Bentley Warren Classic. I think racing at 5, autographs 6:15, autograph 6:30, racing 7:15. I know they want to run a nice quick show, so you don't have to worry about being out there late on a Thursday. I know Thursday feels a little daunting, perhaps. But in the world of big show racing, this is kind of the direction we're headed a little more, I feel like. And they're going to run a big show, or a quick show rather, and take that into account. So do not fret. Make sure you bring the kids out there still on that Thursday night. It's going to be a massive show, and they're going to get you taken care of. You're going to get your autographs in, you're going to get your racing in, and you're still going to get your sleep in. So Cat's joining us in the studio. If you hear some background noise here, he's ready for food. But yeah, Thursday, Bentley Warren Classic, Plymouth. The legend himself, Bentley Warren, will be there. I heard Pancho Carter might be in attendance. I heard Ray Dillon might drop in, perhaps. No promises there. These are rumors, you know what I'm saying? Scuttlebutt, as they say. You don't want to miss the show, though. I will not be. I will be there. I will be at the Bentley Warren Classic watching the Crazy Hornets and the bad, fast, exciting All-Star National Pavement Midget Series Cats. You gotta get out of here, Cat. You'll knock a camera or microphone down. It'll be chaos in here. So moving on. Like I said, Hot Shoe 100 at Kalamazoo. I don't know all the details for the Hot Shoe 100. That was kind of always north of my purview. Don't know a lot about the history of the Hot Shoe 100, but I do know it is a massive race, and there's going to be about 1.5 million modifieds on the property at Kalamazoo this weekend. And I'm very excited to talk to Kenny Wallace about that show and what's coming up at Kalamazoo next weekend. So make sure you check out the details on that on Kalamazoo Speedway's page. They do a good job up there making sure all the details are out there for their events. So if modified racing and Kalamazoo Speedway is your type of thing, that's your option. But once again, I will be at the new Paris Speedway on Saturday for my favorite race of the year. You're probably tired of hearing me say that, but it is so true. Last year was my first Flagger Boy Twin 50 event. First time I ever went to it. And I believe they had 54 street stocks last year. And I talk about it all the time. But think about the street stocks that we have in this area right now. And I know it sounds like hyperbole, and it's like I'm purposely hyping up the street stocks around here because they are around here. But God's honest truth, I really feel like it's the best racing in the country right now. A, because of the cars, and I know we can complain about street stocks and the state of street stocks and the rule book. And back, a street stock now is just a late model from back in the 90s, boy. We can have that discussion another day. But right now, I'm telling you that the street stock racing, no matter the circumstances right now, is badass, dude. Think about just the names. So, Andrew DeVries, crazy fast everywhere right now. Bobby Stremme just won the Plymouth Championship on Friday. Not in the greatest circumstances. I'm sure he'd like to do it on the racetrack, but still, track champion. And Bobby Stremme won in everything as far as short track racing goes. His sons, Nick and Dylan, Jeff and Brock Gannis, Nick Pressler, Corey Pressler, Gage Harris, Sean Amore, Steve Stacy, my buddy, Evan Verdine, getting faster and faster all the time. Same can be said of Cy Bowen, another young driver, getting faster and faster all the time. Zeke Gata, another young driver, getting faster and faster all the time. Throwing guys like Josh Summers, throwing guys like Eric McLaughlin, Kyle Ribble, Colin Bozell. You could go on for an ever and ever and ever and ever talking about the depth of talent in the street stock class right now. And almost all of the best guys are going to be at the new Paris Speedway on Saturday. They're going to split them into 250 lap features, and those guys are going to go battle it out on a bullring for, what is it, $3,000-$4,000? I don't even know. I don't care about the money. I care about what's on the racetrack. And it's going to be badass racing between badass race cars and badass race car drivers. And I don't know what more you can ask for. I think it's the greatest short track race in the country right now. And if you don't have plans on Saturday, join me at the new Paris Speedway for what I promise is going to be a race to remember, because it's awesome. Fired up. Got fired up. Street stocks get me fired up, dude. And when you're talking 40, 50, 60 plus of them and splitting them into two races and letting them loose, like, what are you doing? If that's not what you, if that don't get your giblets going, boy. So fired up for Flagger Boy. Like I said, last year was the first one I ever went to, and I just fell in love with it. I've sang the praises of New Paris. I've sang the praises of Street Stocks, and we're putting them together on Saturday for my favorite race of the year. Can't wait for New Paris on Saturday and the Flagger Boy Twin 50s. Join me at the Midwest Hottest Quarter Mile. Have you a cheeseburger and a jumbo hot dog. What else is going on in the world of racing? What else happened here? I did some diecast hunting this weekend after the rain out. Went out to the LaPorte area, Coachman Antique Mall in LaPorte, Bennett's Uptown Shops, Antique Market, and whatever the one is next door to that in Michigan City. Not the greatest weekend. We got a few things. I got my haul right here. I'll show you what we got. We got some NASCAR lighters, the old Crown Jewel races, Southern 500, Coke 600, Winston 500, Daytona 500, and the Winston Million. $5 on that. These are pretty sweet. Like, I'm not going to use them as actual lighters, but I'll find something to do with them. They look pretty sweet. They're cool. NASCAR was cool when it was beer and cigarettes, you know what I'm saying? Got a Darlington window decal, also $2 on that one. I don't know, for $2, I'm just going to grab that, you know what I'm saying? Got some Riviera Comedy Club cards. I know that's not racing, but I also collect Las Vegas playing cards, especially from properties that have closed. I don't know. There's something cool about that to me. That's also part of the Buju collection. And then, this feels fitting because of the race coming up. I got a Tony Stewart Coca-Cola Racing Family glass. Number 20, Joe Gibbs car. I think that was pretty cool. So that was the haul from the diecast hunt this weekend. Not a ton of excitement, I guess, but sometimes you strike out, right? Went with my buddy Evan Verdine and Hudson Ross and Plymouth Motor Speedway check champion Brendan Davis and his girlfriend Bailey. doing some diecast hunting this weekend. It's always fun going out and doing that. It's like even going to those antique malls and flea markets and all that stuff. It's like kind of like a museum almost, going in there and seeing all the stuff that is on sale and on display and all that. So even if we don't necessarily find all the racing stuff in the world, it's still fun to get out there and do stuff with your friends. So had fun doing that. Wrapped up the night with some iRacing. Had some libations back at the house. Buju was in the Busch Light Limes and was pretty lubed up. Threw on the WD Broadcasting Network. My buddy Winston Deal doing some iRacing broadcasts. They're just doing some fun races. And they were ending it with figure eights at Slinger. So inebriated Buju went ahead and joined that session. I couldn't keep that car pointing in the right direction, man. I think I was 15th, 6th out of quick 50. Ooh, that was a tongue twister. 15th quick out of 16. Just kept spinning around. I'd hit the transition from the banking into the infield and just loop it. They were probably so annoyed at me, but hey, it's a figure eight race. I mean, you can live with it, right? But yeah, that was pretty fun. I don't know. I don't play the iRacing enough. Like you see the rig sitting back there. I spent all that money on that, and I'm still making payments on the computer side of it. Don't break my kneecaps. But I don't play it enough for as much as an investment as it was, and like as fun as it is. Like I do enjoy it. For some reason, I just don't drag it over here enough and play the damn thing. I'd be a lot better at it if I like put in the reps. You know what I'm saying? I get frustrated at myself for not playing it enough. I have it for a reason, and I just don't use it. But anyways, yeah, I mentioned that Plymouth was supposed to be a championship night on Friday before that rain out. Bobby Stremme ends up winning their street stock championship. Like I said, it was a shortened season, and I know there wasn't a lot of points nights, but that's not the driver's fault, and they have to compete in the circumstances in which they're put in. And Bobby Stremme did that and came out on top in the, like I said, the toughest division anywhere, Michiana Street Stocks. So shout out to the Load and Go number 07 team. I know they work very hard over there, and a couple of very smart short track guys in Bobby Stremme and Brian Kaiser getting the championship in that 07 car. So congratulations to them, getting that done over some very hardy competition. My driver, the 48 Camren McCrudden in the Hornet class, just his second year in the division, got more and more competitive as the year went on, got more and more comfortable, turned into more and more of a race car driver, and he's still not perfect, made some mistakes, might have wrecked himself a little bit there with a couple of weeks to go in the season, but still came out on top in the points chase and brings home a championship in his second year as a driver. So very proud of that kid. He's a good kid with a good attitude, and like I said, any young driver is going to make mistakes, and he'll learn from them. And he's got a big jump up next year. He's going to the street stock class. He's going from the Hornets are tough. It's hard to win in Hornets too, but going from Hornets to street stocks is almost an unimaginable jump, I feel like. So I'm looking forward to seeing what Cam can do in that jump up. I think just hope he's patient and takes his time and realizes how big of a jump that is. So, but yeah, shout out to my driver on his championship. Excited to watch you in a street stock. Just keep a head about you, Cam. Jason Harmon wins the 4-cylinder championship. I know the car count wasn't great in that class, but again, that's not Jason's fault. He brings a fast race car and won a championship. So shout out to the 58 and Stephanie Long, who just in her own shop has quite a bit of competition racing against those Danley brothers. And I know they had a tough week this week, so my thoughts are with those guys. I'm sure they would have liked to make some circles on the racetrack to forget about some stuff this week, but two great guys right there, and I feel for them in a very tough time. So shout out to Derek and Devin Danley. But Stephanie Long picks up the Factory Ford Championship at the Plymouth Motor Speedway. Like I said, some very tough competition in her own shop with those always fast and always exciting Danley brothers. And she's also dealing with the Wilfings and a whole lot of other Cody Bloom, a whole lot of other bad fast Factory Fords down there at Plymouth in what is, in my opinion, the second most competitive class in the area behind the street stocks. I'm pretty sure this is not Stephanie Long's first championship in a race car, but congratulations to her on a Plymouth Motor Speedway Factory Ford Championship. That does it for champions at Plymouth, and that does it for a season at Plymouth. They still have a Grand Slam race left. I think I'll be in attendance for that with my rain ticket from Friday. I think that puts me at Plymouth for that race due to monetary purposes, right? I got to get my pit pass. I have to use my pit pass. But, so yeah. And then the show down there at Plymouth, I believe, still. And that does it for Plymouth season. I know that facility for sale, so see what the future holds for Plymouth Motor Speedway. I do not know anything that you do not know. I headbutt the mic again. I gotta stop with that. Yeah, I don't know anything you don't know about Plymouth, or however that saying works, but I don't want to lose another racetrack. I hope it stays open. I hope it stays operational. I know everybody, we all have eyeballs. We can all put two and two together sometimes, and a racetrack being for sale means the future is in jeopardy for a racetrack. So hopefully the best outcome for the Sanctuary of Speed and one of my favorite racetracks in the area. Maybe that's just because of proximity or whatever, but I grew up at the Plymouth Motor Speedway, and the thought of it maybe not being open as a racetrack anymore in whatever capacity it may be, or whatever surface may be, or whatever the circumstances may be, the thought of that not being a circle track is scary. So hope the best for the future of the Plymouth Motor Speedway and any racetrack in the area. You never know when things can come to an end. So especially in a circumstance where there's a for sale sign posted and it's known that a track may change hands, it feels scary. Plymouth's the second closest track to me, and the closest track to me is already in a state of flux, and we don't know what's happening to that one. So it's an uncomfortable feeling losing racetracks close to home. We haven't lost Plymouth, obviously. We don't know like I said, I don't know anything. This is just very much brainstorming or whatever you want to call it. This is just my perspective of it. We know it's for sale, and you know what that means for a racetrack, and that's scary to me. You see what crowds look like at weekly shows and realize that at some point other tracks are going to have to make some kind of decision. And I'm not saying closing gates or putting a for sale sign out or anything, but decisions are going to have to be made because people can't just light money on fire. Like, I can't expect promoters just to lose money for my own enjoyment because I want to go to and watch cars go in circles while there's 4 people in the stands. That's not fair of me to ask a promoter. And that's not a shot at any track. Every track is struggling with weekly show, ticket sales, fan counts. So what's the answer? How do we fix it, guys? Everybody has the complaints, but nobody has answers. And I'm in that. I mean, I don't know the answer. I have ideas, but I don't have a racetrack or funds to give to a racetrack to try those ideas out. All I can just stand on my soapbox and go, hey, did you think about this? What about this? Maybe, I don't know, invert them. You know what I'm saying? It's like, ultimately, I'm in the same position as you guys. Like, I want racing to succeed too, but I'm just a fan at the end of the day. It's typing comments and supporting when I can and doing whatever as well. Like, if I had the answers, I would be putting the plan into action to fill the stands and make short track racing, the most popular sport in the world. But unfortunately, I do not have that crystal ball. And I have not found it on eBay yet, despite my efforts. This cat is really hungry, and he's going to get upset if we don't end the podcast soon. I have to get you a guest or something on here, right? It can't just be me forever. I have to be boring you at this point, especially on a weekend with no racing. Like, I can't even recap results or anything. Like, God, you have to be tired of me, right? But I guess that's what we'll wrap it up on that, on what the rain subject that we touched on earlier. Like, what do you prefer? Because the tracks to me feel like they're in such a no-win situation. They're going to get mother effed either way, no matter what they do. If the forecast looks like trash and they call it early, and then we'll just leave it at that. Forecast looks like trash and they call it early, they get crap for calling it early, especially if Saturday ends up looking better than what the forecast does. But then at the same token, if the forecast looks like trash, doesn't change, you make everybody come to the racetrack, and then finally, lunchtime, 1 o'clock, 2 o'clock, whatever it is, you finally make the decision, we're just not going to be able to get this in. You call it, and then you wasted everybody's time and gas money and whatever else may be. Said, the promoters just can't win there. What do? You're pissing somebody off, no matter which call you make and what time you make it. Somebody's getting mad, no matter what you do. So what do you do? Odds are, if I'm talking to you, you're not a promoter. So what do you do? What do you prefer? As a fan or a driver, what do you prefer? And if you are a promoter, I'd love to hear from you too. You tell me the economics and the factors that go into making that decision. I would love to have the discussion. We can have it anonymously if you would like. You tell me. I'm just curious on everybody's perspective. I know mine. So as a driver, when I take my POS race car to the racetrack, I would, if the forecast looks like trash, I want them to call it early because I don't want to go through the process of going to the shop, loading up the car, fixing whatever issue is on the car when I show up at the shop, because that always happens. Maybe you have to adapt to new rules because you're trying a new track or a different series, or you have to do a new setup for this track that you're trying. I would like to avoid all that if possible. Like, if I don't have to do that, let's just go ahead and yank the plug early. I don't want to go sit in the rain anyway and dodge raindrops and drive the track 8 times. I don't want to have to do that. That's what we did at Plymouth on Friday. We'd get cars on track, 2 groups would go, and it would start raining again. You have to pull them off, wait it out, dry the track, send the cars back out. You get 2 groups, it'd start raining again. We were going to play that game all day Friday. I don't want to do that. Kudos to Plymouth for trying to get in. Like, hats off to you. That's not a shot at Plymouth. Like, I've probably taken shots this year when they've canceled it early and it didn't work out in the right direction. So shout out to them for trying to get the show in. Like, that takes balls to do to an extent. They tried to get it in. They finally asked the drivers, and drivers like, it's not going to work. Let's just go home. So they did. Drivers don't want to go sit in the rain and play that, dry the track, it's raining again, pull the cars off, go out. They don't want to play the game. It sucks. It sucks for everybody. It sucks for the fans that don't show up. You know what I'm saying? Like, the stands are going to be empty when the weather is that bad, and the stands that are there are miserable. And I know they want to see racing too. I would want to see race if I was in the stand. If I'm going as a fan, like I'm talking about my perspective as a driver, on the flip side, if I'm going as a fan, I want them to wait it out to the last second, make every attempt, because I've got there and I don't have any stakes on it. I didn't put fuel in the race car or pull a trailer or have to drive it into the trailer and strap it down and go 45 minutes to my shop or whatever it may be. I didn't have to go through all that. I just got in the car, put pants on. Well, I could probably put pants on, then got in the car and then went to the race. Maybe, usually. So there's less stakes in it for me as a fan. And there's definitely less stakes in all of it for all of us if we're not a promoter. So I'd just love to hear all the different perspectives. Headbutt the mic again. Put a headbutt mic count. Headbutt the mic count. I can't talk either. Put that in the corner. But yeah. So I'm curious on everybody's perspective. Fans, drivers, promoters. You don't have to do it in the comments. You can send me a message. I'm not going to put you on blast and tell the nation who you are. The nation. As if the nation's listening to Bleachers and Features. But yeah, we'll spice this show up next week. I think this week is a good opportunity to get maybe some quick interviews and add those into next week's podcast. I got to get some better equipment, I think, to do those properly. But we'll play around with some stuff. This is all about fun, right? We're learning and growing here together on Bleachers and Features. I got to feed the cat before he gets upset at me. But like I said, Thursday, Bentley Warren Classic at Plymouth. Ken Schrader, Tony Stewart, Ryan Newman, the legend Bentley Warren. All kinds of crazy stuff happened at Plymouth on Thursday. Hornets $1,000 to win. Stars are out at the Bentley Warren Classic at Plymouth Motor Speedway. I will be there on Thursday. I hope to see you there on Thursday. Hot Shoe 100 happening at Kalamazoo this week. Kenny Wallace going to be up there. Massive show at Kalamazoo. So if open wheel modifieds and the Kalamazoo Speedway are your flavor, make sure you are checking that out. I will be at the new Paris Speedway on Saturday for the Flagger Boy Twin 50s. My favorite race of the year once again. And you know what I think about the new Paris Speedway and what I think about street stocks. So we're going to mash those together and have a badass time in Amish country at the Midwest Hottest Quarter Mile on Saturday. M40's running this week. I think my brother might be running M40. I know Ronnie Holloway and Cheyenne Milborn will be up there, so make sure you go up there and support Russell's. If you're not going to be at New Paris or Kalamazoo or wherever else may be, just make sure you're supporting short track this weekend because it's big show time. Like, this is the time. I know it's fair season. There's a lot of stuff going on. I know we're going back to school soon, but this is big show season in the short track racing scene. You can't really go wrong the rest of the year. If you go to a racetrack, you're probably seeing something pretty damn cool from here on out. So, as always, support your local short track. Do what you can do to get out there and get the word out. Racing's the greatest sport in the world. Let's remind the rest of the world about it, right? Let's see. Everybody wants full stands again. So let's do our part and try and make that happen. Do I know what the answer is to it? No. But let's try something, right? Big races coming up, guys. I'm fired up. See you at the races.